The future of Assassin's Creed has been leaked. Not just the next game, but like the whole future plan of the franchise. And Ubisoft continues to prove that they have a very strange, I'm gonna risk it and say unhealthy, obsession with live services. We've spent the last month or so talking about AA success stories and about how to do live service games right. And in my opinion, Ubisoft seems to be at the roulette table and they're betting all their chips on blue. Assassin's Creed Infinity is the new hub for everything Assassin's Creed in what is called Period 3. So Period 1 would be those games that we all universally love, being Assassin's Creed 1. Well, maybe not that one, but I like it a lot. Assassin's Creed 2, or rather the whole Ezio di Torre da Firenze, Requiescat in pace. Also, Brotherhood is the best one. And Assassin's Creed 3, and I guess Black Flag just doesn't count. That's in its own timeline, and you know, it even got its own demake with Skull and Bones now, so that's cool. And from there, we move into Period 2, being Assassin's Creed Origins, Odyssey, and Valhalla. So very distinct differences between them. It's the looter RPG type of game. It lost some of its essence. Some people didn't like that about Period 2. Some people really enjoyed that about Period 2. I think a lot of people found a lot to like in Period 2, and generally, I think the consensus is that Valhalla kind of went off the deep end with just how much of it wanted to be this content-stuffed game and lacking the interest necessary, because Odyssey was also huge, but people seem to enjoy that one a lot more. I don't think it's a controversial take to say that despite the changes, Period 2 was fairly good. It was different, but it wasn't bad. It just made you sad in the sense that if you liked how things were before, it had changed now. I can't really give that much of an opinion on Valhalla because it's the only one I just didn't play. I played like 3 hours and I was like, yeah, I'm not in for this. So, yeah. But I really liked Origins and I really liked Odyssey. Not as much as Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, but come on guys, Brotherhood was a great game. Period 3 is going to be centered around Assassin's Creed Infinity. What will Period 3 bring in terms of changes to gameplay? Will there be a radical shift similar to the difference between 1 and 2? We don't know. What we know, the first thing we know about the game, and if this isn't telling, I don't know what is that it is a live service game where you have a central hub from which you can access, as if you were in the Animus, a ton of different, you could say that you're entering into different people to live through different time periods and different stuff. But normally that would have meant different Assassin's Creed games, and now it's a live service. And there's so many strange things that happen as a consequence of this structure when it comes to how will these games work, that I can't help but be intrigued as much as I am honestly appalled. I don't know with which one to start, so let's start with the bad, I guess. This is a live service single-player game now. Keep that in mind. With all of the stuff that comes with that, with the updates, the changes to things, the constant treadmill, the battle passes, they want you to just play this game a ton, and it's a single-player game from what we know. If it is co-op in some capacity, if there is a multiplayer element, that sounds like something that we didn't ask for. You will have an in-game microtransaction shop that rotates daily and weekly to purchase different outfits and different things for your characters in each of the different projects, as they're called, which are the different Animus things, the different games that you enter. And they're supposed to consistently update it and add new experiences. I guess that those can range from additional stuff for one of the existing time periods to maybe mini episodes in new time periods, and eventually the large big sequel games. This is a very strange thing, because from what it sounds, this is just new games being released, but through a platform that theoretically unifies them through the magic of live services and microtransactions. How does this even work? And more importantly, why? I understand how this works literally, I just don't understand how it works on a conceptual level from like developing this as a service. So aside from the big games and the DLC, one of the main focuses of Infinity are projects, which are battle passes. They are small battle passes, each for one of the protagonists, no matter which game we're talking about. It's a battle pass centered on them. Theoretically, it will be accompanied by either new games or new DLC or new missions, just new content, and it gives you a reason to buy them, I guess. This is the first part that I'm confused about. Is the DLC the project? So are they trying to sell me a battle pass that comes with content? We can't even sell content that comes with battle passes anymore. We sell you a battle pass that comes with content. And even when there is nothing attached to them, that is something said right here, that even when there's nothing to the battle pass, you're still going to get a new battle pass. Why? To keep interest high when content is low. But that is in itself very confusing. If there's no new content in this single player game, and I already did everything, how are you trying to milk this so hard that, like, what you're telling me, right? What they are selling us is that if you already beat the game and you got enough out of it and you're happy for it, maybe if I give you a mini battle pass for $5 or $10, well, let's be honest, 10, that comes with some new cosmetics and a pretty new sword, if you play more of the game, that you will be incentivized to buy that battle pass to get new cosmetics for a game that you are done with, and that maybe because you're engaging with the game more, a game you're done with, to play and unlock these new things that you paid for, in that process, you'll be magically infused with the essence of Yves Guillemot and be inspired to stop playing through the mini battle pass and say, oh, since I'm going to be playing this game for 12 more hours doing the same things I've done before already, I might as well spend $20 on this dumb skin. I might even put that in the video because this isn't because that wasn't scripted. That is just my literal face of me coming to an understanding of this and just being... Anyways. So some of the things that are coming for Assassin's Creed Infinity, aside from Assassin's Creed Red, which is the one set in Japan that everybody has been very excited for a long time, and I refuse to be pessimistic. I will continue to be excited for it, and if it's bad, I will tear the game apart. But I'm going to go in to everything I do on this platform, everything for this channel. I always want to go in with 0 to positive expectations. That's the only way to do this stuff fairly. Aside from Red, we have Obsidian, which is a Black Flag remake. I'm losing my mind. What do you mean? You just put out Black Flag, but worse? And you're working on a remake, not a sequel, a remake of Black Flag? Arguably the best Assassin's Creed game? Are we crazy? Sorry, I skipped ahead. My bad. Invictus is a multiplayer game being planned for next year. And Hexe for 2026. This one is supposed to be the darkest Assassin's Creed game ever. And it will have a lead female protagonist, currently named Elsa, for the first time since Assassin's Creed Chronicles China in 2015. In 2015, when did Syndicate release? Oh, same 2015, never mind, okay. Nebula, which is set in India, the Aztec Empire, and the Mediterranean. So, the globe, I guess. Assassin's Creed Raid. I can't wait until Assassin's Creed Raid starts sponsoring YouTube videos, which is a free-to-play 4-player co-op game that's PvE, and Echoes, another multiplayer title. There's also an unannounced Assassin's Creed remake, and they're all scheduled to release by the end of the decade. I don't know if I'm alone here in reacting to this list of things, all Assassin's Creed related, all tied in to the Assassin's Creed Infinity experience, that I just immediately become overwhelmed and disinterested. But hey, it has great advantages, like how you're going to be able to switch from game to game in a mere seconds through the Assassin's Creed Infinity Hub, and the 3 terabytes it takes up on your hard drive, obviously. But that makes me think that all of these games need to be unified in some capacity, so how much are mechanics going to change from game to game? How much are they going to be different? A lot of the things listed here feel like they have to be very different. Will things that are included as quality of life or just basic upgrades, basic improvements to the games that come down the line be retroactively implemented in the previous games? Will all of the games be supported? What is the budget for this? Who asked for this? Who really, of the public, is out there clamoring for this experience instead of just going to buy the next Assassin's Creed? And hey, I guess we'll tolerate the microtransactions and the aggressive advertisement for season passes if the game is good. Who didn't want any of that and wanted it all tied to this live service experience and everything that comes with it, from potentially the online requirements of it, or how it's going to change the game through the years, or just all of this typical stuff that we have to complain about when live services are done badly, and in my opinion, especially in this case, without justification beyond we need to find ways to make more money. Maybe if you fired the people who are convincing you that these are great ideas to have for monetization, you would save enough money to not need this. There is so much that is confusing and wrong with this. And that's where my end point. This is where I really spent a lot of time thinking before recording this. Assassin's Creed is dead, guys. I don't think we give Assassin's Creed enough credit. We've given it a lot of flack over years because of how it's transformed and the DLC model and the microtransactions and all of these things, but Assassin's Creed started as a game that was very promising. The premise was intriguing as all heck, felt very fresh, very unique in every possible way. From there, from a very intriguing, very fresh game with a lot of flaws, it just exploded into what is Assassin's Creed 2 still to this day, and to everything else that came from it. And Black Flag, while receiving a lot of criticism for being very different and not being enough of an Assassin's Creed game, was an excellent game. And from there, it completely shifted gears into something wildly different with Origins, Odyssey, and Valhalla. And with its ups and downs, those three games, for being completely different, are great games that are very highly enjoyable. They managed to transition the entire franchise into what are essentially different games while preserving the appeal of the Assassin's Creed franchise in general. And they managed to do all of that while switching gears and perfecting cool ideas throughout that transition. But now I feel like it doesn't matter what Assassin's Creed means to you, right? To me, Assassin's Creed primarily, as much as I enjoyed Odyssey, is Ezio Auditore, it's Assassin's Creed Syndicate, it's Evie Fry, I thought that game was really good as well. It's Black Flag. It's how much I love the pirating adventure, how Black Flag to me is kind of the best pirate game ever made. It's a lot of very cool highlights that are not what Odyssey is. And if for you Assassin's Creed is Odyssey and Valhalla or any of these things, where is it going now? Because it doesn't matter what they try to do with the game. I'm worried that the only reason that they're wanting to exist at all is to justify cashing in on the franchise and how recognizable it is. I don't know how much the name Assassin's Creed is valued at, but we have to make a live service out of it to consistently monetize our players and make the most money out of it, instead of it being a shift into a new thing, because there are developers that are very passionate about executing these projects. So I'm just kind of sad now, because I've loved this franchise. I've loved this series in many different ways throughout many of its iterations, and it had created an expectation in me that even though Assassin's Creed might not be the same thing each time, it might not be a constant refinement, or it might not be predictable, it was generally very interesting and something that I looked forward to. Maybe it dropped from my list as number one must buy, must play on launch day and became a I'll play it later on, but it's always something that I was more or less willing to try out and play. And the number one thing that I could have been excited for was Assassin's Creed Red, because I think Ghost of Tsushima gave me a flavor of that setting that I really enjoyed, and I wanted to see that take from the Ubisoft teams that make Assassin's Creed. But now, between everything that Ubisoft has done to itself and to its reputation and the quadruple A thing, like I said, Assassin's Creed Red will exist, theoretically, coming out this year. I will very probably play it and review it, and I will do everything I can to give it a 100% fair shake. If it is a great game, I will say it. No problem about it. But I'm still sad and concerned not only about the franchise, but about Ubisoft, and how in a moment where everybody seems to be rallying together in the gaming community towards supporting a different mentality of where we want games to go, it's not that they're doubling down, is that they are literally betting a company at this point on this live service model for single-player games and a bunch of crazy multiplayer games that I don't think are going to have the passion and soul of the previous Assassin's Creed multiplayer modes that were great, or the previous Assassin's Creed games that were great. I hope they prove me wrong, because like I said, it can't all be doom and gloom. Bananas. It's bananas. That's what it is. I mean, not literally, it's Assassin's Creed, but you know what I mean. I've been Mug Thief. Thank you so much for watching me in my confusion and anger. If you want more of this, remember to subscribe. And as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again very soon.